¿qué es lo último que se acuerdan que soñaron? Fuimos a encontrar hasta Montreal, Canadá, The Dream Interpretation Center, el Centro de Interpretación de los Sueños, y un analista de sueños que, como les digo, es miembro de the International Association of the Study of Dreams. Ella es escritora de la columna Dreamcatcher en Oprah Daily y Understanding Dreams by Psychology Today. Es autora del libro Have a Great Dream y está con nosotros Layne Dalfen. Layne, welcome to the show!
Thank you so much for welcoming me.
We're so happy to have you here. And I have to tell you something that I told the audience this morning. Last night, Layne, I had the worst dream. You want to hear this? Super bizarre.
I got my pen.
I was laying on top of this man that was older than me. We're both dressed, o sea, no sex, no love thing, nothing.
No
I'm just on top of this guy. And this guy is saying to me really threatening things. And through the whole conversation, I was feeling really scared of what was going on. So I take out this little, like, Swiss knife, and I start stabbing his face and his chest. And he's, like, laughing. And at the end of the scene, he gets up and says to me something like, "You're going to get in trouble because of what you did." And he leaves. He's perfectly fine. I didn't kill the man.
What did you do?
Okay, entonces, a friend of mine comes to me and says, "You're going to get in big trouble because you hurt this guy." And I'm like, "Yeah, but he was threatening me. Like, it was in self-defense." And my friend says to me, "You're probably going to jail." And then I wake up. That was my dream, Layne.
Oh, my God.
Okay, so is there an explanation for this dream?
Oh, there is always an explanation. And the exact same way that when we wake up in the morning, we prioritize our day. Who do I have to call? Who do I have to email? What do I have to do today? When you go to sleep tonight, if you have 10,000 things happen to you today, which you probably do, your unconscious is going to prioritize the same way as you do in the morning, except you are going to prioritize the one subject that's bothering you the most. So it could be something that you either thought about the day before the dream or that happened to you. So there's a person or a situation that's the first thing that bothering you this week, and that is what triggers your dream. That's how the discussion, the interior problem-solving discussion begins. That's where it gets triggered. So the way, because I'm not a psychic, I have a psychological approach. So I developed a method of 6 points of entry that you can use. And I'm just going to tell you very quickly what they are so you understand how I'm questioning you.
Okay, so before you explain these 6 steps or 6 whatever, I just told the audience that you're absolutely on the money. Because this week, something has happened with somebody specific that has me anxious and unsettled.
Perfect.
So you know what, girl? You're right on the money.
After 50 years, I better be.
Okay, so what is it you're going to explain right now about dreams?
Okay, these are the 6 points of entry.
Okay.
The feelings, which you were just talking about, the action, the symbols, the repetition, the plot, and the play on words and puns.
Okay.
So when I hear a dream, you just, there's no such thing as a wrong point of entry. All 6 points of entry work. You just choose the one you feel attracted to. And when I heard your dream, the first point of entry that came to my mind is, how did you feel in the dream? And you said, I feel scared. I felt scared.
And threatened.
And threatened. I love it. And so it's like a dance. You go inside the dream, outside, inside, outside. So you say to me, I felt scared and threatened. And I am going to ask you, what do you think happened yesterday, or that you thought about yesterday, some situation that has you feeling scared and threatened? And I need to add a caveat.
Okay.
Here it is. We humans are self-regulating organisms. We do not like to talk about what's bothering us. We like to hold it in, hold it in, hold it in. And because we are self-regulating, whatever you are not talking about in the day, the dream is going to overreact, and you get a balance. First of all, you get a balance. And the second thing is that it attracts your attention because your healthy unconscious is calling you. It wants you to do something about the subject. And so that's going to be my first question. What do you think has you feeling threatened this week?
Yeah, I know exactly what it is. Like, I don't think I should say it publicly. Yeah, but I know exactly what it is. And I
already know you're healthy.
Yeah.
I'm not nervous about you.
Yeah.
Because the action in the dream, what do? You go and get a Swiss knife and you start stabbing him in the chest and the face. And I say, bravo, because you are taking action
towards that threat.
Mm-hmm.
Bravo! Oh, yeah.
You're taking action,
let me say it. This is so much fun. Come to Mexico and be with us forever, Layne.
I would love that.
Do you want to finish this part of the story? Because I got so many tweets on people's dreams that they want to understand what they mean.
Oh, so we're going to have fun.
Oh, yeah. Okay, great. So anything I need to know?
I just want to say one thing to finish this dream.
Okay.
If there's some part of you, Martha, who was a little bit hesitant about taking action to defend yourself, if there was a little part, you made the dream be obvious that this is self-defense. You're not going to jail. You're not, it's a justified, you're justified. We rehearse. We do a rehearsal in the dream, and then you take the behavior outside to your waking life.
So what you're saying is that in real life, because of this situation, I do have to take action and do what I know I need to do.
That's exactly right. And you practice it in the dream.
So the question for you, my dear new friend, is how do dreams work in the brain? Why do we dream certain things that are repetitive? Or do we dream in a certain language? Or do blind people not dream? Or why do we remember some dreams and others we don't?
Right. So I'll stick with my niche.
Okay, go.
Although there's lots of things going on when we're sleeping, my niche is the language of metaphor. More than I am a dream analyst, I'm an expert in the language of metaphor. Mm-hmm. So for example, I just hear the language when you tell me the dream. So you could say to me in English, I am so tired. Or you could say to me, je suis très fatigué. Or you could say to me, I was dreaming, I was trying to run, but my feet were dragging. And for me, you're saying, I'm tired, I'm tired, I'm tired. In 3 different languages, you're saying the same thing. And so I much more teach people how to understand this language that we speak, the language of metaphor. It's just not the same. It's the same language that you speak during the day, not quite. It's the language of pictures. And this is very important. From the moment you are born, every single memory and association that you have ever had since you're born is stored in your vast, intelligent, unconscious mind. And so because I'm 72, I don't call it a database, but it is a database. I call it a filing cabinet. So when you want to say something to yourself in the dream, the filing cabinet opens up and you pick and choose what you want to say to yourself. So if you're a woman who went out with a boyfriend when you were 16 and he rejected you, and something happened today that made you feel rejected, you don't realize it, but that boy is in the filing cabinet and they become interchangeable. You might dream about him tonight, and it's not about him. It's about something that happened yesterday that made you feel rejected. So those dream dictionaries are ridiculous. You have to ask the dreamer to be able to understand what were you saying to yourself when you had that dream.
Wow.
Like a fingerprint.
Yeah, of course.
And one of the big messages about dreams that I want to teach people is to appreciate how unique we are.
Yeah.
We are all unique.
Now, my question is, one of the main things that I've seen on Twitter is repetitive dreams. Like, why do we dream that we lose a tooth? Why do we dream that a huge wave comes on top of us? Why do we dream that we can fly? Why do we dream that we want to run, but you don't advance? Or why do we dream that we want to scream, but your voice doesn't come out?
No sound is coming out.
Yeah, exactly. So the repetitive dreams.
Okay, but now that question made me want to say so many things.
Okay, shoot, girl, shoot.
So I want to give you an example, and it teaches you that not only are we problem solving in our dreams, but the solution to the issue comes to you in the dream before you get it consciously. So here's my story. I'm going to tell you, and it's a true story.
Okay, go.
40 years ago, one day, I don't want to say I had a fight with my husband, because I didn't. He had a fight with me, and he was yelling at me. And what did I do when he was yelling at me? Nothing. Why? I'm even going deep with you. Why? Because in my house that I grew up in, the message from my parents was, don't open up your big mouth. So I learned to stay quiet. And we get a habit from what we learn as children. That's why he's yelling at me and I'm not saying anything. So I went to sleep that night and I dreamed about an aunt of mine. She was already dead, about 15 years at that time. But using a symbol, point of entry, I asked myself very quickly, what do I think about when I think about that woman? And the first thing I would say to you, she had such a big mouth. She had no fear. If she liked you, if she loved you, she would tell you. If she didn't like you, she would also tell you. And so she represents the aspect of my character that has the potential to speak, to say what needs to be said. And because I understood that she was the solution, she's the symbol, that's the solution to the problem with my husband the day before. So I know I am not changing. I'm not here to say that change is easy. I am here to say that change is possible. And so I'm not going to go from saying nothing to being her, but a little bit because she was the solution to the problem. And she appeared in the dream. So in the morning, I woke up and I said, Andy, could you please not yell at me? It makes me feel like I'm 7 years old and I'm with my father. Could you please not do that? That was my first time exercising my voice. And it was 40 years ago. So now I've been in the gym exercising my voice for 40 years. He would never yell at me now. So we are powerless to change somebody else. And we are all powerful to change ourselves. And all these different behaviors that we are born with, that we come in the world to be selfish, to be giving, to be a hero, to be a chicken, to be an initiator, to be someone who doesn't initiate, to be an accommodator, to be someone who has no problem about saying no. We are born with everything. And the purpose of your life here on earth is to take all the behaviors back so you become whole again. So you're not stuck with your habit of always saying yes or never speaking up. So the teeth falling out dream.
For example, sometimes I wake up and I tell my husband, ahora sí que say you're sorry. For what? Because I dreamed you weren't faithful to me. Say you're sorry. Say you're sorry. ¿Cuántos de ustedes no han soñado que su pareja les pinta el cuerno y se despiertan de pídeme perdón? ¿Y Juan de qué? Pídeme perdón, güey, me pintaste el cuerno. Y te vi. So what does that mean?
Well, before I go to that subject, I first want to finish in 1 minute what you were talking about, teeth falling out, screaming and no sound is coming out. It's all the same as me dreaming about my aunt who had a really big mouth. It's all the same. It's the same dream. It's because we hold things in and we don't speak. So if your teeth are falling out, the expression, I don't know if you have an expression in Spanish like that.
What?
But in English, we say spit it out.
Sí, escúpelo. Yeah, spit it out. Sácalo, dilo, escúpelo.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the teeth falling out dream. Now, but repetition. So sometimes I'm looking at what's missing in the dream. If you're trying to scream and no sound is coming out, then that's the solution because you see what's missing.
Yeah.
The voice.
Okay, got that.
Okay, now I'm going to talk about repetition. There's 3 kinds of repeating dreams. There's repeating dreams, repetition that happens inside the same dream. Because we repeat, you don't need a big long dream to understand what's going on for you. And you don't need a big long dream with a beginning, a middle, and an end. Because if you just catch one picture really is worth 1,000 words. So don't judge your dream that you need a big, long dream. You don't, because we are constantly repeating. And maybe you remember in school, read it, write it, recite it. Read it, write it, recite it. That's how we learn. So we repeat inside the same dream. We also repeat, there's repetition, where you might say to me, I had that dream 6 times in the last 2 weeks. So that kind of repeat is the exact same thing as a nightmare. That is your unconscious calling you, screaming at you. It wants your attention because something in the day, you're not looking after business.
Got that. Second type of repetition?
Well, the first happens inside the same dream. Mm-hmm. So before 20 years ago, my first book came out, and I'm a radio girl. Mm-hmm. I love the radio because you can't see my face. I could be in my pajamas and talk to 1 million people in Chicago, and nobody could see me. But I was invited to go do Good Day New York. Mm-hmm. at NBC in New York. I was so scared. Was I talking about it? No. So one night near the holiday, when just before I was to go to New York, I went to sleep one night. I dreamed about a ghost. What does a ghost mean? It means I'm scared. Then in the same night, I dreamed I was standing on the abyss of a cliff. What does that mean?
You're
It means
scared
I'm
again.
scared.
Yeah.
And in the morning, I dreamed about my teacher from grade 5. What does that mean? It means I'm scared. So I'm saying, I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared 3 times in the same night. So that's the first kind of repeating. The second is what you just talked about. When you get it over a period of maybe 2 weeks, where your unconscious is yelling at you because it wants you to discuss what's on your mind. And the third kind of repeat is over a lifetime. And when you have a dream that repeats over many years, it is the exact same thing as a favorite expression. So my favorite expression, it's not, but I'm telling you that my favorite expression is, oh, darn it, because I'm not going to swear on the air. But so I could have said, oh, darn it, when I was 15, because I missed the bus. And I could have said, oh, darn it, when I was 35 and I walked by my desk and papers fell all over the floor. And I could have said, oh, darn it, about an hour ago, because I realized you better get to the computer because you're going to be on the air soon. So I'm saying, oh, darn it, oh, darn it, oh, darn it, over 60 years. And I'm using the same expression. So that's what a repeat over a lifetime looks like in a dream.
Let me tell you something, my dear Layne. We need to talk more.
I'm so glad.
Yeah, we need to do this again.